Hi girl. Yes, I got married last year and I was 21 and now I'm 22. So I'm gonna categorize this video into 3 because I'm a planner, okay? I love planning. I'm gonna talk about my experiences being married, what my expectations were getting married, and lastly, things that I've learned. When people heard that I was getting married, a lot of people were shocked. I was shocked. I'm not gonna come on here and be like 21 is like old. Like in today's standards, it's very, very young. I'm aware of that, but by that time, I was old enough, full out grown, moved out, everything, and knew exactly what I wanted. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's do this. And the one thing that I really loved is the support. Like everyone has just been supportive and praying for me because this is a huge thing. It's a lifetime commitment in front of everyone and God. So it was something that I did not take lightly making the decision of. It wasn't like, oh, we've been together for this long, so therefore the only thing to do now is to get married because we want to have sex. That is the reason why some people get married, especially young Christians. And one of the things that I've been loving about marriage is the comfortability. Even if I am sick, I feel this and this and that. Obviously there's like boundaries. We're gonna talk about that later. You feel like this person, you know this person's gonna stay with you and stick with you through the bad, the good, and the ugly. They're just gonna be there for you, and it's an amazing and comforting feeling because I'm a person with anxiety and coming out of a relationship where I wasn't priority one ever. It's just been so nice to feel prioritized by someone and for them to make me feel like I'm the most beautiful person. I spent about 20 minutes looking at the camera and just thinking, should I film this or the next day when I feel beautiful, because I was not feeling beautiful. So just having that person to reassure you, to make you feel safe, is definitely one of the things that I experiencing and loving about marriage. And I also never thought that I would get someone who gets me. I know whenever you're like with a current boyfriend, or if you think about your exes, you probably thought they were like the best person, they get you and all that kind of stuff. But then I realized that no, they did not. And now finally I have someone who gets my dry jokes, who gets that I'm antisocial, who gets that I am boring, there's nothing going on with me. I love playing cards, Uno and stuff like that. That's what I like. I don't like necessarily clubbing. Like my husband took me to a club one time. That was like the second time I'd ever been one in my entire life. Not because I wasn't allowed to, not because blah blah blah, but I genuinely don't like the vibe. But I was like, you know what, let me try this out, you know, because he wants to, you know, help me experience life a little bit more. And then we went there and, you know, tried to dance, but I was like, this is not my vibe. This is just not, I don't like this. And I was with him and I love that I felt comfortable and safe with him while we were out there. So definitely having a friend to try out new things, because sometimes people think when you get married, like you're done, there is no more freedom. I'll tell you when there's no more freedom. When you have kids, that's when you don't have more freedom. But having him as my partner, it's literally my partner. Like we go out, we do everything that we could possibly ever do. There's nothing limiting that, you know. And I finally have a friend who can understand if I'm not comfortable with something, and I won't feel like, oh no, now they're not gonna want to hang out with me anymore because I don't want to do certain things. I can literally be the most boring person and they're still gonna stick with me. So that's been kind of nice. And also coming in marriage, I really expected like set gender roles. I know I have always felt like I'm a liberal Christian to an extent. Growing up, you know, I was definitely against, you know, like, why should they be gender roles? Why am I gonna wash the dishes, blah blah blah. So but then when I was being not cancelled, like there's the word, by like a lot of elderly women from my church, you know, they're very old school, so they were telling me all these things that I was like, you know what, maybe I should just listen to them, because, you know, they were telling you things that you should do for your man and all that kind of stuff. Little did I know that my husband is definitely very liberal. He definitely does not believe in gender roles and anything like that. So coming in, I was really like, you know what, no, don't be in the kitchen, you know, stay there and I'll cook for you. I was definitely I went in my marriage like that. I realized that why am I suffering for like no reason? Like, why am I choosing to suffer? It's so bizarre because I had this like mindset of like, I should keep him, I should do this and this and that to keep him. But like, my husband made me like really comfortable in a way that I don't gotta do all that. Washing the dishes is not a gender role. It's something that we can both do, you know what I'm saying? So those expectations, I had to let them go. And it's kind of funny how I quickly switched up, because I was like, before I got married, I was definitely, you know, feminism and stuff. On the way to get married, being advised by a lot of people, I was like, okay, conservative. I would do everything a woman's supposed to do. And then now that I'm actually in it, it's like, hey, I like, you know, doing the bed, so I'll do it. You know, it's not because I am a woman, it's not because I'm the wife, but I like genuinely doing it. So that's been a really nice thing, and it helped me understand that each marriage looks different. I've seen things like this like on social media where the woman is like, she's like, you know, making a video of cooking for her husband, and people are like, yeah, but why should you have to cook for him? But maybe she loves him and she likes to cook for him. So it definitely gave me a different perspective on certain things. And another piece of experience that I would like to share is that change. I really thought that as soon as I got married, I was gonna change personality wise. I thought I had to change how I dress, how I look, and all that kind of stuff. I really had that pressure because I still felt like, oh my gosh, am I dressing like a teenager still? Are people not gonna take me seriously? Who's gonna believe that I'm actually married? Do I have to change the speech, friends, and all that kind of stuff? But like, nothing much has really changed. And that's why I was like, you know what, some of y'all are lying. Like, I guess over time obviously people change, but like the core things in my life have not really changed. I'm still a student, I still feel 22, I'm young and fresh, I want to go out, I still have that energy. What else? I still have the same friends. It wasn't like, oh, I only hang out with married friends now. Where am I gonna get that? No, it was definitely not like that. I'm still like the same Tanya that you know. Like, there's no like major difference. Obviously there's some things like I can't do as a married person that I used to, but like overall there isn't that huge shift. So that's interesting, and I definitely want to talk about that in my other video about do's and don'ts now that I'm married. I think that's going to be an interesting one. I also want to talk about things that I thought would change but have not, or vice versa. When I was living with my parents, I hated doing chores, I hated cleaning, I hated all that kind of stuff. But now that I'm living in my own house, the way I love things neat, like right now I'm on my menstruation and I've just not been able to do anything, but the one thing I was gonna do is clean before I do anything else. So bizarre. Which brings me to things that I've learned in the last 11 months while I've been married. Be careful with who you tell your business to. Oof, I wish someone had told me this earlier, and it doesn't matter who it is, because I used to think that when people are telling you, you know, like, don't tell everybody your business, all that kind of stuff, they only specify to like people your age. Because I was like, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna tell people my age like the problems we're having, but like if like an older person, yeah, I'm gonna tell them because I trust them because they're older. No, nobody. Okay, I'm not telling y'all to not vent your friends who you trust, but like there's some intimate things where you really have to fix it with your partner, because you really have to be both adults to sit down and talk it out and fix it amongst yourself. You don't always have to go to the outside parties to fix what's inside, because only you two know exactly what's going on, and you two are the ones that want this to continue. So that's one thing I've definitely learned. Like, I don't care unless you're like a pastor or something, like someone professional, yeah, but like if it's just a random auntie, like no, that's not happening. I'm not telling anything about what's happening. And obviously when it comes to like surface level things, you know, you just want to vent to your girls, like absolutely, but they just, you know, in your heart like what you can and cannot, and also discuss with your partner, because sometimes you wouldn't want your partner to tell their friends certain things, you know, because you'd be like, that's a little bit, you know, because obviously whenever a person's gonna tell a story, they're gonna tell it in a very biased way, not gonna, like, if we're being honest. So definitely just pay attention to that. If you're in a long-term relationship or you're married, I think it's a really great advice. And I've also learned that you have to be your partner's biggest supporter. I definitely lacked this, and now I am a professional listener and supporter. And listening is a skill. It's not just like listening, like hearing them talk, but like really understanding, really showing emotion, and really listen with your action as well, that you've listened to what they say and you support them. So I've definitely learned that it is very important in a marriage to listen to your partner. And don't be, I wrote there, don't be arrogant to people that haven't been married. Yeah, definitely. I'm not saying that I was arrogant to people that, no. I'm just like saying in general, I've seen this a lot where like if someone gets married, suddenly they think that they have achieved something and they're better than other people. I don't like that sort of thing, because it's not really an achievement. It's just like part of life. Like you either get it or you don't. Like, don't, like when you get married, just because it's been like a race for you doesn't mean like it's been a race for like everybody else. Yeah, you believe that you've won, but like it wasn't a competition in the first place. So when you did get married, great, congratulations. But like, don't look down on people that have not or aren't choosing to go the marriage route. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. And then there's also things to talk about before marriage. And that's one thing that when I was at church, they always talk about that, you know, things like having children and, you know, faith. My husband is not a Christian. And we had to talk about that when we met. I was like, hey, from the get-go, I'm a Christian. And that is one thing I'm not gonna compromise for you, and it is what it is. You have to accept that, or we can't go anywhere. So there's definitely things like that that's so important, so important. Children, all that kind of stuff, so important. I don't understand how people can sometimes go in years of marriage and have not talked about those certain things. And it's like, what? How? You have to be comfortable enough. Like, if you're not comfortable enough to talk about those things, then yeah. But overall, marriage is great. Marriage is wonderful. I know a lot of people will come and be like, "Wait, it's just hard work." I get it. I'm in the first like 11 months. What do I know? But you know, pray for your family, pray for your husband. If there are hard times, look forward, pray, have faith. And in everything, there's hardships. In everything, just having that mindset of that you're dealing with another human being that God created, that is also special, and that is not just about you. Even though you're one, it's not just about you. Just having that mindset really helps you to avoid so many fights, so many things. So that's definitely the few things that I've learned, hopefully over the years, that God will bless us with. I can learn so much more and share with you guys. And yeah, I think this is pretty much all. Like, I'm really happy and excited, and I'm gonna be more open and talk about my experience and all those kind of things. So if you guys have any questions, if I'll be able to answer them, I'll definitely make a video about this. Definitely check out the next video that I'm gonna make. Put that notification button on. I'm gonna make a video about do's and don'ts now that I'm married. So see you guys next time. Bye.